Cosmic is an upcoming Linux desktop environment that promises good customization, tiling capabilities, and just generally to be very fast. Built by the developers of Pop! OS, a distribution that has a good reputation for their NVIDIA support, it provides its own design language, incorporates many of the most liked features of other desktop environments, and includes their own core applications. And since Cosmic is now already in beta, slowly preparing for a stable release, I think now's the time to take a good look at it. In this video, we're going to check out some of the improvements they made for the next release of Pop! OS, how it compares to different desktop environments, and how I feel about Cosmic myself. Let's get into it! This video was made possible by channel members of our community. If you want to participate in selecting new video topics, see what's going on behind the scenes, and gain access to various tips and tricks, then please make sure to check out the join button or the link in the video description down below. It has been a while since the last time I checked out Cosmic, and since then there have been many updates and the beta release of Pop! OS 24.04, which includes this new desktop environment out of the box, and it's what I used for this video. However, if you like to use Cosmic on a different distribution, then you can try it on one of these as well. After the installation, which was quite easy, the first change that I noticed was the setup guide, which now features some customization options to ease users into Pop! OS. You can choose between 6 different pre-configured themes, and it provides you with 2 default layouts, depending if you like a GNOME Mac experience like Pop! OS has had for years, or if you prefer a more Windows and Plasma-like one. Especially for newcomers, options are important, and having them straight in the setup guide is a really nice thing to have. While there haven't been any major design changes since the Cosmic Alpha, there have been many improvements to the core applications and desktop environment underneath. Let's get into some of these changes, but also highlight some of the problems. The Cosmic Software Store comes with laptop support out of the box, which means that not only do you get access to many applications from its Ubuntu base, but also to a broader selection without having to fiddle with anything. Discord, different web browsers, officially supported programs, and much more. While I personally find the design of the store a bit unintuitive, it is very fast, and once you get to know it a bit, it's not that bad. There are still some features missing, like if a Flatpak were to feature some add-ons, and I also noticed an issue where some of my installed apps got listed twice. The file browser now supports connecting to network shares, a necessity for many that have their own NAS to remotely store their files. I know, technically speaking you could already work around that by just mounting the shares in a different way, but especially for a newcomer this is not a great option and also has its quirks depending on how mobile you want your device to be. And what I also really appreciate about Cosmic is that they rely on the GNOME Virtual File System, short GVFS, to mount the shares. The advantage here is that it is accessible via an actual browsable path on your system, which you can reference in programs like DaVinci Resolve that have their own file browser. That is something that you can't do that well on KDE Plasma, since there you need the package KIOFuse installed, which not all distros include, and it often changes the path, so you need to change that every time. With Cosmic, there shouldn't be any issues, and that is good. What is however missing currently, similar to KDE Plasma on some distributions, is a calendar application. This basically also makes the calendar applet kind of useless, since you cannot add any entries or synchronize it with any external sources. There is an official calendar application in development, but if you want to use Cosmic right now, then you unfortunately need to rely on third-party ones like the one from GNOME or Mercuro. Let's move on to some of the settings improvements. Since Alpha 4, Cosmic supports variable refresh rates, which is a good thing for smoothing out stutters when gaming or to save some power on laptops that support it. They also added scaling steps, which seem to work quite nicely, though I did experience some bugs when changing the resolution, so the display settings still need some work I suppose. Some of you might already know that Cosmic is built entirely on the much newer display protocol Wayland. For the average end user this doesn't really mean much, but in a nutshell it just means that some older applications might look a bit different and have some quirks. For scaling, like if an application looks slightly blurry or the scaling is just way off, in the application settings menu under X11 applications compatibility you can change the behavior of how these apps get displayed. I would recommend though that if you don't have any problems that you don't change these settings, since they don't really increase performance or anything. When it comes to working with Cosmic, I have mixed feelings about it. What I like about it is their gnome-like layout, if you don't choose the other one by default, since it is just something that I learned to love. And given that the desktop environment offers me some customization options on how the panel and dock behave, I can set it to what I prefer quite easily. What I also really appreciate is that they include an overview, similar to what GNOME offers, and you can choose if you want it to be horizontal or vertical. However, the applications menu is something that might not be to everyone's taste. The folder menu approach is good, don't get me wrong. It's just that someone like me would prefer a scrollable view, though this is an issue that can most likely be resolved anyway via applets or changes to the current menu. A feature that I personally don't really use all that much, but what Pop! OS has been known for in the past is its tiling capabilities, which have of course also transitioned over to Cosmic. The idea behind tiling is that you essentially split your screen with all of the applications that you have open on your current workspace. A workspace is basically the current virtual desktop from what I have shown you before. Power users often set up different layouts per screen, which they can quickly switch between. Especially programmers, in combination with the runner applet that Cosmic comes with, sometimes don't even need to use their mouse, because they can rearrange and scale windows as they desire with just a keyboard. And it's the efficiency, and sometimes also the looks, that makes tiling so appealing. If you don't prefer that workflow though, that's also fine. Cosmic combines the best of both worlds. However, one little side note here, I wish that there were some animations, as the whole desktop feels kind of flat. Really fast, but not really modern. The current state of Cosmic, while officially being in beta, honestly still feels like an alpha to me. Many of the core apps have already received important changes. However, there are still many missing, and there are also some deeper issues that need to be solved. There is no current implementation of drag and drop support between Wayland and X-Wayland, meaning that you cannot just drag and drop files into a web browser unless it also runs on Wayland. Something that is not always guaranteed to be known by the end user. If you are a gamer, Cosmic already works fine, but you might run into some scaling bugs or even occasional crashes until the X-Wayland implementation gets improved. While Cosmic is already well functional overall, when compared to the current release of Pop! OS, many users will notice the lack of features that they had with the GNOME-based desktop environment. I just hope that Cosmic reaches a state, especially with its core applications, that users won't miss their functionalities that they might have gotten used to over the years, but it's too soon to say that. Right now, all I can say is that Cosmic still has a long way to go, but once the core applications are in place and have gotten some refinement, with better X-Wayland compatibility and maybe even HDR support down the line, Cosmic is shaping up to be a great desktop environment, and their website promoting the beta does show the vision of what Cosmic could be quite nicely. And that's where I'll leave it. So what do you think of Cosmic? Do you think that it is ready to be already in beta and soon to be released? What are some features that are still missing from it? Please let us know in the comment section down below. Before I end this video, I quickly wanted to mention that if you want to support the channel and make even better videos, then please feel free to check out our membership program, as well as our online shop, whereas each sale helps to support various open source projects. If you've liked this video, then please make sure to show it with a like, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, so that you don't miss out on any future Linux videos just like this one. I'll see you again really soon, but in the meantime, all that's left to say now is good morning, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. I'll see you around.